and it's going to be what action, and this is for everybody, of course, 2 to 3 minutes, what action do you believe the federal government should take or could take to create jobs and improve the economy in central New York?
Put a massive amount of money into infrastructure development, work on moving our energy system as quickly as possible towards a wind and solar and other green energy and towards conservation. Move on that very hard. Move off of coal to save the environment for ourselves, our children, and our great-great-great-grandchildren. So those are things they can do. Develop the CCC, the Conservation Act, the old days. Get kids a job. Kids and other people too. Provide job opportunities for young people. A civilian conservation corps worked once, let's try it again. These are all important things we can do to engage people, to build the economy. Infrastructure is an investment. It really doesn't matter if you borrow money, borrow money to invest in good things. It does matter if we borrow money to invest in foolish, horrible wars.
Thank you very much, Eric. Next, same question to Steve Williams. Steve Williams, you're right.
Thank you, Doug.
Add it down here.
There are several things we can do. Let me start with this. First, you know, this is one of the prime reasons I decided to run, and that is how we have been bleeding jobs in this district for years now. Since 1979, in Onondaga County alone, since 1979, we've lost 33,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs. That's a problem, all right? What can we do at the federal government level to stop that and to bring jobs here? Number one, Eric already touched on this, invest in infrastructure. I agree with that. There are two infrastructure aspects that are in dire need of attention. Number one, our highway system. We all know that the highway system was all built at one time when President Eisenhower was in office. It was a great thing, a great idea. It did wonders for our nation. It made us more competitive. It improved our economy. Well, those roads are all crumbling at the same time. We have to fix them, and you got to spend money to do that. Secondly, our water pipe system. You probably read about that every day in the paper because it's a huge problem here in Syracuse. It's not only a problem in Syracuse, however. It's a problem across the country, more in the Northeast, but across the country. Because all those water pipes were built at the same time at the turn of the century. And I mean from the 1800s to the 1900s. And you know, a good example of how bad of a problem this is Flint, Michigan. When I first heard about Flint, Michigan, I was under the mistaken idea or belief that the powers that be simply pumped bad water into these homes. That's not what happened. They actually pumped good water into the homes. But all the pipes in Flint, Michigan, just like here in Syracuse, are either lead pipes or they're soldered together with lead. And if you put normal water, good clean water, through those pipes, water, good clean water, has a corrosive element, right? And it pulls the lead from the pipes and the joints and puts it in the drinking water. And that's what happened in Flint, Michigan. And the only reason we're not drinking lead water in Syracuse because we have those same pipes, folks. It's not PVC down there. The only reason we're not experiencing the same problem is we treat our water with phosphorus to soften it and make it less corrosive. And that was the mistake in Michigan. They put non-treated water through the pipes. The pipes have to be fixed, and they have to be fixed now. This problem's not going away. Next thing. This next thing I'm going to talk about has been done in other congressional districts. It works. We need to partner our local largest employers with our local colleges and universities to fill the jobs that are there. There are jobs right now in this area that are not filled. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. The largest employer in the district is the healthcare area, the healthcare industry. There are jobs there unfilled. If we can connect those employers with, for example, Onondaga Community College and tell that college, what classes do people need to take to get those jobs? People can go to OCC and say, what classes do I need to take to get a job? And they will get those jobs. Perhaps you saw the story about the woman from the South Side who had been on public assistance for 20 years with 6 kids recently. And she had just a little help from a government program, just a little help. And she got her nurse's assistant's degree, and she is now off public assistance for the first time in her life. She's self-sustaining, and she's feeding her family. We can do more of that. And then we need to focus on jobs of the future. To Eric's credit, he touched on this as well. You know, we're probably not going to get back Syracuse, China, okay? We're probably not going to get back Carrier. But that's the past. Let's look to the future. There are industries that are just beginning to blossom. We can get those. The solar industry is just starting to blossom, and it's only going to grow. Only going to grow. We need to attract jobs of the future. The solar industry, drones, robotics. The governor's already taken steps to do this, and I applaud that. And we can get those jobs. We can bring those people here. We have things that will attract those kinds of jobs. What do we have? Well, number one, we've got a great workforce, just dying to work. Number two, we've got a lot of great colleges and universities in the area. And number three, and this is very important to these kinds of manufacturers, we have a lot of water. We have a lot of water. We have the Great Lakes right there. South Carolina doesn't have that. That's unique to this area. So we can do that. And then lastly, we need to oppose these free trade agreements that are inviting corporations to send their jobs overseas. And the mother of all free trade agreements is on the table right now, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We need to oppose it. Keep our jobs here.
Thank you very much, Steve. Colleen?
Yeah, I agree with most of what Eric and Steve said. I mean, absolutely, our infrastructure is a huge need and also an opportunity to create jobs. There are 302 structurally deficient or functionally obsolete bridges in the 24th Congressional District alone. So there is a great need to help identify what the problem is and put people to work for these jobs. I agree. We need to use the opportunity with clean energy and renewable energies to bring in solar, to bring in wind, to bring in geothermal companies that want to be able to produce their product here and replace some of the manufacturing jobs that we have lost over the last 30 years here in this region. I think, I mentioned in my opening remarks about universities, connecting them with training dollars so that kids can be trained in fields that actually are creating jobs, like the craft food and beverage industry, or in the healthcare industry, or as engineers. We need to work with our business community to identify where the need is, and then put people in the programs to get them to be able to do those jobs. And I think the federal government can play a big role in providing some grant dollars and some loan dollars to incentivize these programs. But I also would like to add, too, I think we need to see Made in America again. I mean, the Verrazano Bridge that's being reconstructed down in New York City is made from steel from China. I mean, that's crazy that we're using taxpayer dollars to rebuild a bridge, and we're using Chinese workers to do the job. That's what we need to do. We need to develop policies that make it better and easier for our companies to produce products here, make it better and easy for our people to want to make it better and easier for our governments on the local, state, and federal level to pick companies that are here that put American people to work. We need to work really hard to make sure that we're doing everything we can to invest in projects that actually put people to work here in the United States of America and in the 24th Congressional District.
Thank you very much, Colleen. The next question deals with privatization.